Your skill set is a prerequisite for gainful employment, while having a strong work ethic is an important part of being successful in your career. Welcome to Let's Talk. I am Olujo Kemosaku. On the show today, we will discuss the topic employability, work ethics, and staying employed. Mrs. Aderonke Salami, CEO, Unicorn HR Services, is here to give you tips on how to stay employed. Stay with us. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you for coming, actually.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So now, going by the topic, employability, work ethics, and staying employed. Could you please give us a brief breakdown of these keywords and what they entail?
Employability is just being able to work. The idea is working in an environment that helps you to succeed in whatever career, in whatever skill set, or in whatever thing that you want to do. Most times, most people prefer to work with the government or to work in the private sector. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is, how do you become employable? The main thing is, what skills do you have? The main thing is, are you ready for this skill, for this job, for what you are about to put there? So it's not just about, I went to school and I'm done with school, so I want to work. No, it's more than that. It is definitely more than that. When you look at the job market as a whole, what do you see? One of the main things that you see is employees using everything that they have to build businesses or organizations up to what they are today. So if you say you want to be an employee, what kind of skills do you have? Coming from the HR part, we have two types of skills. We have the hard skills and the soft skills. Most times, people are just focused on just having the hard skills. Hard skills are skills that are like certifications, technical skills, analytical skills, and all of those. But the job market is going way beyond just having hard skills. You also have to be able to have soft skills. Are you a team player? How can you adapt into an environment that you've never been in before? Are you able to observe when people are in a room? It's not just about, I want to contribute to my own quota. No. Are you able to observe and take whatever observation that you get and use it for something tangible, for something growth-worthy?
Moving forward, how is work ethic related to productivity and success of a person?
Productivity basically is in tandem with being successful in the workplace. Work ethics helps you become productive. You cannot remove work ethics away from productivity. How do you become productive if you don't have simple guidelines that would help you to improve or to move your company forward? So basically, work ethics goes hand in hand with productivity that brings success to any organization.
All right. Now, is it necessary to possess a set of skills? Of course, you mentioned it earlier, but I would like to also bring it in this form that are visible or usable in the labor market, or is it a thing of luck? getting a
It's
job?
not a thing of luck. No, I don't think it's a thing of luck, Joke, because when you look at it, like I explained earlier, without skills, how then would you be able to do the kind of jobs that you're supposed to do? Let's take, for instance, an admin executive, an administrative executive. One of the jobs of the administrative executive is to make sure that everything in the office works hand in hand for all the other people in the office. Now, if an admin executive doesn't have the necessary skills like organizational skills, doesn't have the skills of team playing, doesn't have being able to adapt into the environment, how will she or he be able to express or to even make sure that the job he or she is doing is in line with the organization?
Mm.
So it is necessary to possess skills. It is not a thing of luck. What kind of luck do you want to have if you don't have the skills?
Don't
Because
forget
most
that.
companies,
Yeah, don't forget that sometimes too, even if you have the skills, you have the ability, the effort, you have the talent and everything that we can think of, there are still some non natural, or I wouldn't say natural now, forces. I would say human forces that could actually stall someone from getting a job. Take, for instance, if you don't know somebody, you can't get a job. That's how the world is right now. If you know somebody that knows somebody or something, that's how it works right now.
well, Joke, I wouldn't, I don't want to say I won't agree with you in terms of not knowing somebody before you get the job. Yes, that comes into play.
Mm.
But honestly, if you have the right skills,
Okay.
if you know how to tell your employer that you're able to deliver
Mm.
on the necessary job roles or job description that has been given to you, you will get the job.
Okay.
One of the things that you need to do as a candidate or someone who's looking for a job is to make sure that your CV is in the right order.
Mm.
You cannot you cannot say that your CV should have experiences that are not valuable.
Okay.
That does not allow your employer important and expect to
Mm.
receive a job. Yes, the job market is very difficult. It's like every other thing. Everything, trust me, there's no job that is not difficult. Even getting a job. Do you understand? But if you do it the right way, if you go through the right means, if you get help from the right people, you will definitely get a job.
So, what are the right ways that people have to go through to be able to get a job or become employable?
Like we mentioned earlier, have the right set of skills. That is
Okay.
very important. If you have to get certifications for for your kind of job role, then get certifications. Another thing that I would say that is important for you or that can help you is networking. It's not you don't just say you are looking for a job or just approach anybody that you want a job. No. One of the things that you can do is, for instance, we have a platform called LinkedIn that helps a lot of young people get jobs on a daily basis. Even if you don't get a job today, you can always approach recruiters, send them emails or send them DMs and tell them what you can do. That's another way of getting a job. Another step of getting the job is, like I mentioned earlier, make sure your CV is right. Always make sure your CV is right. It's a very important step in your process or your progress to getting a job.
Mm.
Another way of making sure that you are getting a job is have smart goals. Don't just apply for every kind of job or any kind of job. No. That way you can't even keep track of what you are doing. But if you are smart about the kind of jobs that you are trying to apply for, then you easily get a job. Let me give an example, Joke. Um, A lot of people that I have met approach me and always ask me, "Oh, Miss Ronke, please, I need a job. Can I have a job?" And you ask them, "Oh, so what are you looking at? What kind of role are you looking at?" And you hear things like, "Oh, anything." No, that is so wrong. You cannot say anything. That is not smart. It doesn't help me help you. If you get what I mean, Joker.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't help me help you. How will I can't, there's so many roles out there. There are even more softer skills like content writing, like social media marketing, digital marketing. If you don't know specifically what you want as your career progression, it will be difficult for you to get a job.
Okay. So, are you satisfied with the labor market and the caliber, or would I say, the kind of graduates that are being sent out from the university, like that are turned out every year? Are they employable?
To be honest, Joke, I wouldn't say that I'm all too impressed by the kind of graduates that are being turned out. I was looking at the data recently and I realized that we turn out over 500,000 graduates every year. And these graduates are being thrown into the job market without any skills whatsoever. But I wouldn't blame, I can't totally put the blame on the schools alone. One of the things I like to tell people is this: even if you are not trained properly, you can always train yourself. So, are they employable? They're very employable. They are very employable. If um, companies or organizations are willing to take the risk of training these young ones, they are very employable.
Which brings me to my next question. You know, anytime a job comes out, there's always this thing of 5 years experience, 10 years experience, age range, and all. With all of this, isn't it an embargo already? Is it that these employers too really do want to employ people, or are they just trying to reduce the number of people that can come in for jobs?
Being a HR consultant, I've worked with a lot of organizations, and one of the things that I realize is nobody wants to um, nobody wants to take the risk of starting with people who cannot give them value. Now, if you are a business owner and you need your business to move from point A to point Z, you don't need someone who is going to be going from point A to point B, right? And that's where you get, you know, employers asking for 5 years experience, 4 years experience, 10 years experience. There's recently one I saw that asked for 27 years experience.
That's wickedness.
I wouldn't say that's wickedness. It's just,
Really? 27 years? Oh my God.
no, the truth is this: you can't blame employers because at the end of the day, they still have to pay people's salary, right? So nobody wants to take that risk of, oh, um, I want to I want to sit down with this person and take them through, you know, a training process, which is why, you know, people like us, HR consultants, have started to come out and speak out, right? We're telling them that you can always take someone with a lesser experience and train them. That's why you have HR departments. That's why in HR, in an HR department, you have training and development of staff.
Okay.
That way they grow rapidly the way you want to.
Okay. So now, for employers, do you think they can bring, or how do you think that they can bring out the best in their staff?
Well, for employers, like I mentioned just a little while ago, eh, employers can help, you know, their staff, their employees. It's so easy. One of the things that they can do is reward system. When I mean reward system, you it doesn't necessarily mean that um, it has to be about remuneration.
Okay.
But if a company can afford it, right, it helps. It helps. Imagine this: you have a team of maybe about 20 employees in your company, and every month you have a, a system whereby there's the best staff of the year, or of the month rather. It encourages other employees to want to do better.
Mm.
That is what I mean by reward system.
Okay.
Another way that employers can help rather, is by training. When you train your staff, when you put them first, there's always that loyalty that you get from them. It is very, very important for businesses to put their employees first. They're the reasons why your company is growing.
Okay, staying employed. But before we go further, now I want you to add to the skill sets now, the kind of, what are the, if you can reel out some very basic things that people should do as every, to be able to have a good work ethic that could actually help them stay employed.
Like I mentioned before, skill sets are divided into soft skills and hard skills. Depending on the kind of job role that you're trying to apply for, there are basic skill sets that you should have: written and verbal communication. You
Okay.
have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to communicate. No employer would release you or employ you to speak to their clients without being able to communicate properly. You can't be using past tense when you're supposed to be using present tense. You can't be using passive voice when you're supposed to be using active voice when you're speaking. So those are things that's a basic one that you should be able to have. Another skill set that you should have is being a team player. Nobody wants, like we know, with the word with the phrase, no one is an island. Nobody wants to employ somebody that works by himself alone. Anybody who wants to work by himself alone means that they are not trainable. Another skill that you should have is adaptability. You should be able to adapt in any kind of environment that you find yourself in. Then another skill that you actually need is being observant. Like Lagos people said, gra gra. Nobody wants a gra gra person that is just, too all up in the space of everybody. But sometimes people just need you to listen, to observe, so that you can be able to report properly. Another skill set that you need to have is analytical skills. Being able to analyze a situation and preferring solutions. It is very important. I think that's one of the most important skills that you can even ever have. Which takes me to the next skills, is problem solving.
Mm.
Don't be that person who cannot solve a problem. I remember someone who I was working with, and she told me something one time. She said, there is no problem that does not have a solution.
Sure.
So people will not want someone who doesn't know how to solve a problem. Like, if you are working in an organization right now and you see that there's one person that seems to be called often every single time, if there's an issue going on, they call just one person. There's an issue going on, they call one person. It means that that person has been able to solve problems even at a goal.
Mm.
So it is very important to have at least this basic skill sets that I just mentioned.
Okay, so with that, you can stay employed too and not be afraid of losing your job anytime, right? So, what do you think the government at all levels should do to reduce the rate of unemployment in Nigeria precisely?
Going by what is going on in Nigeria, for instance, I've been seeing over the news that, you know, different sectors are trying to bring out um, jobs for young Nigerians, and I think that is a very fantastic idea. But I also think that it is necessary for the government to work with the states. You know, the government can't solve the entire problem of unemployment in Nigeria, not even in the short time or even in the long term. But if they're able to work with states, let each state come up with, solutions for young adults,
Okay.
young graduates. It shouldn't just be the problem of the entire government as a whole, but they need to be able to work with the states in solving this problem. Another suggestion I would like to give is also for the government to work with private institutions. Take for instance, um, young graduates like the final year students who are about to leave school. What is the plan for these graduates after they leave school? I'm not talking about NYC. I'm not talking about NYC, but I'm talking about having private institutions come into schools, work with them for a period of time, and find a way to fix them into places, even if it's for internship. It gives them that leverage, of being able or being called employed or being employable, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think that the government should be able to work with private institutions and also work with states, at the state level and also at the local level as well.
You have an HR company and you've been able to help a couple of people. I follow your WhatsApp status, and you basically upload or post jobs, available jobs, and all. Is that all that you do as a company? And what are the ways that your company has been able to help people? And would you say that you've recorded a reasonable amount of success about employment for people and the kind of people that you have been able to work with? What are those things you saw in them that made them a standout while searching for a job?
Unicorn HR is a people's company, basically. What we do is consulting for small, medium enterprises. We know that sometimes um, there is that feel of not being able to pay big HR companies, the necessary, or their charges because, quote and unquote, they feel like they're expensive. So one of the things that we realized when we started Unicorn HR was that there was a gap. There was a huge gap with candidates and companies. And we felt that we could bring them together and make them align. When we first started, it was first about posting jobs because we realized that there's so many jobs out there, but there are also so many um, graduates looking for work. How come they don't see this? Then we realized that one of the problems was that graduates didn't know how to go about getting a job. They just felt like, if you remember me saying that, they had just felt like they should just apply for anything because they're just looking for work. So one of the things what we've been able to do is guide um, graduates on what to do. One of the first things we tell them is understand that you have to give value. give value. Nobody wants a liability. But if you are able to show that you are valuable to a company, then you become employable. Another thing that we looked at was a lot of these people don't have the right CVs. There is a lot of CVs that are just, you'll be wondering what is going on. They don't have the right CVs. It's all jumbled up. Another thing again that we realized is that candidates or job seekers find it hard to get in touch with recruiters. So we wanted to be that bridge to fill the gap. And that's what we've been able to do. So far so good. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful in the business. We get a lot of reviews telling us, "Oh, thank you so much for what you have been doing." Aside from just even being the gap, one of the things we do is we try to train as many people as we can on the right way to land their dream jobs. So we've been getting a lot of reviews, and we are excited as to where this is going. In a couple of weeks, we'll also be doing another training where we would have different people from different sectors come in and speak to job seekers on how they can be employable and how the kind of steps that they need to take before they land their dream job.
Okay.
So it's not just about applying for jobs. You have to be strategic about how you apply for these jobs. And that's what we've been able to do so far.
So on a final note, do you have any other thing you feel you can chip out to those people?
I would give at least 5 people the opportunity to have their CVs reviewed by me.
That's it, actually. So if you really want to be trained, you really want to land your dream job, and you want to get the tips, you can actually reach out to her. So the first 5 people to reach out to Unicorn HR Services, I will actually put it there and the number will be there for you to call. And I can assure you that you're going to get a job. And it shouldn't end there. You should also try to patronize them, refer people to them, and tell the world about them. That's just what I can say. So thank you so much, Ronke. It's been wonderful having you on the show. And I'm so grateful.
Thank you. I was so happy being here. Thank you so much.
All right. So until next time, when I come your way again with another exciting guest, always watch Let's Talk, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can always get the latest information. Until next time, stay blessed. Bye.